You know what I find funny? Every time people talk about preparing for World War III, it's always the same advice. Store food. Stock water. Buy canned beans. Yeah, thank you, Captain Obvious. If things get that bad, everyone will already be fighting over those things. So in this video, I'm not going to repeat what you've already heard 100 times. I'm going to show you 7 things you should quietly stage in your house. Things most people don't even think about before a large-scale global conflict disrupts normal life. Not obvious stuff. Not panic shopping. Real advantages that actually matter when systems start failing. Because when World War III becomes real, the difference won't be who has the most supplies. It will be who thought differently before everyone else caught up. Let's start with what actually happens first. Not bombs, not chaos. Friction. Payments slow, deliveries delay, services glitch, information becomes unreliable. Small inconveniences stack into big problems. And that's where the first secret thing matters. You need offline identity and access backups that don't depend on your phone or cloud accounts. Right now, your life is locked behind passwords, banking apps, email, two-factor authentication, cloud storage. Now imagine your phone breaks, or networks fail, or verification codes stop arriving. Congratulations, you still exist, but the system disagrees. Having printed, secure copies of essential credentials and recovery methods, not passwords written on sticky notes, but structured, protected access backups can save days or weeks of frustration. Because in a disrupted world, the hardest thing isn't losing money. It's losing access to your own life. The second thing is something almost nobody talks about. A manual, non-digital way to measure time and track routines. Sounds stupid, right? Until your phone dies. Or your devices desync. Or you're suddenly living without reliable electricity. Time isn't just convenience. It controls medication schedules, sleep cycles, coordination with others, decision-making. Without structure, people lose rhythm. And when people lose rhythm, they make bad decisions. A simple mechanical watch or timekeeping method becomes a stabilizer. Because chaos doesn't start outside. It starts when your internal clock collapses. The third thing you need is redundant lighting that doesn't rely on the grid or constant batteries. And no, not just a flashlight. Something sustainable. Rechargeable systems, hand-powered options, low-energy lighting you can depend on long-term. Because here's what people forget. Darkness changes behavior. It slows movement, increases fear, causes accidents, breaks routines. And in a stressed environment, something as simple as reliable light becomes psychological control. You don't want to be the person guessing your way through your own house at night. The fourth thing is what I call friction breakers. Small tools that make everyday tasks easier when systems stop helping you. Manual can openers, basic repair kits, multi-use tools, things that remove dependence on convenience. Because modern life is built on shortcuts. And when those shortcuts disappear, people struggle with basic tasks. Opening containers, fixing small issues, adjusting to manual processes. You don't notice how dependent you are until something simple suddenly isn't simple anymore. The prepared person doesn't look smarter. They just don't get stuck. The fifth thing is a controlled information filter, not more information. This one is critical. During large-scale conflict, information becomes unreliable. Some of it is delayed. Some of it is incomplete. Some of it is intentionally misleading. If you try to consume everything, you lose clarity. If you ignore everything, you lose awareness. The advantage comes from having a small number of trusted, consistent sources and sticking to them. Because panic doesn't come from bad events. It comes from confusing signals. And in modern crises, confusion spreads faster than truth. The sixth thing is something people usually ignore until it's gone. Sound control and noise awareness inside your own space. In normal life, noise doesn't matter. In unstable situations, it does. Noise attracts attention, reveals patterns, signals activity. You don't need to turn your home into a bunker, but you do need to understand what sounds you create and how far they travel. Because the quieter environment becomes, the louder you appear. This isn't paranoia, it's awareness. The seventh, and probably the most underestimated, is mental boredom resistance. Yes, boredom. Not fear, not danger, boredom resistance. When systems slow down, people suddenly have time. No constant scrolling, no entertainment overload, no endless distractions. And most people don't handle that well. They start making unnecessary decisions just to feel in control. They go out when they shouldn't. They argue. They overreact. The ability to sit still, stay occupied, and not chase stimulation becomes a survival skill. Books. Offline hobbies, simple routines. Sounds small, but in long disruptions, it separates calm people from chaotic ones. Now here's the part nobody likes to hear. If a global conflict escalates to the point where daily life is disrupted, there won't be a clear moment where someone announces, "Okay, now you should prepare." It will already be happening. Gradually, quietly. And most people will still be arguing online about whether it's serious or not. The advantage doesn't go to the strongest, or the richest, or the fastest. It goes to the people who prepared for inconvenience before crisis. Because inconvenience is the warning sign. Not explosions, not headlines. Small things breaking and not getting fixed immediately. And here's a little reality check. You don't need to turn your house into a survival bunker. You don't need extreme gear. You don't need to disappear into the mountains. You just need to remove unnecessary dependence. Because the real risk isn't that the world ends overnight. It's that it becomes slightly harder to live, for longer than expected. And most people aren't ready for that. So if you take anything from this video, take this. Don't prepare for dramatic scenarios. Prepare for systems slowing down, because that's how real-world disruptions begin. Quietly, gradually, almost politely, until one day you realize nothing is working the way it used to. If you made it this far, you now understand something most people overlook. Survival isn't about having more. It's about needing less from systems that might fail. If this video helped you think differently, share it with your friends and family, because awareness spreads faster than panic. And if you want more realistic breakdowns like this, no hype, no nonsense, subscribe to the channel. Stay prepared. Stay calm. And when the world slows down, make sure you don't.